Hey guys, I figured I would show you what I've been working on all day, and I want to cut you off at the pass. Don't ask me to make any decals. I'm done with it. It takes up so much time. I have spent the last, well, not the last 2 days, but I've spent 2 days time working on a whole bunch of decals for different folks, and I'm glad to do it, but now that it's over with, I gotta go. Now I gotta put an end to this. Don't ask me to make any decals because it's just too time consuming. There may be some folks out there, I'm certain there's some folks out there that can do it quicker than me, but my setup is only good for just here and there every now and then for a project that I am currently working on, not for everybody else's little projects. But without further ado, let's check it out. Ba-da-ba-da-da. There we go. Look at that. This is Bobby Boucher, the 281 XP built by Cajun. And the number 9, it represents Bobby Boucher's football number in the movie, The Water Boy. All right. This little alligator is Cajun's little icon, or whatever you want to call it, mascot. Over on this side. So it turned out pretty good. It looks pretty good, but not perfect. This was all these letters being green, total accident. That's what happens. But as you can see, it's not perfect, but it's close enough. It's good enough. And now over here, look at that. There's the pulverizer. Oh, doesn't that look sweet? That looks really killer. Right there. That is nice. That is very, very nice. The Ukraine saw is almost ready to be sent. The Orc Slayer. I didn't have any good place to put my man glitter sticker. Usually goes here, but there's too much going on, so I had to put it over here. And right there, that looks sweet. I love it. Really turned out good. Very happy about that. Got my BPS Bodie's Performance saws, Bodie's Power saws. BPS Performance. And on the top cover, there you go. This chainsaw has been modified by Novice Lumberjack on YouTube for extreme orc slaying capability. It is also good for cutting firewood. So, if you guys don't know, which you probably don't, the Ukraine army calls the Russians orcs. And so this is the Orc Slayer. There we go. I painted up the bar as well, and we're waiting on that to dry, and there you have it. But let's go ahead and bring you inside. I got some more decals that I was working on decals for Bellhopper and working on decals for Charlie Briscoe. Lights out. Lights back on. So anyways, yeah, the decal thing is really cool, but like I said, it's extremely time consuming, and I've got to, sometimes you just got to say no. You got to know. I mean, like Dan Kane Custom Garage, he had to step away from YouTube for a little while, or at least not do it as much, because it's just eating too much of his family time up. And I'm in a unique situation. I can put forth more time than most. Come on, go get him. They don't know. I just pulled a fast one on them. But yeah, sometimes you just got to be like, I can't do it. I ain't got time, But all of these are for other people. Eric Diamond, these are for you. He's got a 2163, and he asked me to do something more vintage looking. There you go, buddy. I think it looks killer. That's going to look sweet on that saw. So he's the one that gave me the Johnson Red 630 that Aaron Lynch currently has, and at some point he'll be porting it up and everything and making a fast get together saw for me. These right here are all, Bellhopper has 4 different saws that I'm making decals for. They're all 372 based, but we have, you know, the 372 has different spots for different little things. So that'll go up on the top cover. This goes on the side. This goes, I believe, also on the top cover, I believe. And Charlie Briscoe, he's doing a 372 as well. Briscoe built. And I ran out of vinyl. So since I ran out of vinyl, I wasn't able to get the recoil and clutch covers for all of Bellhopper's saws. He's doing a all 372 based, but it's 362 XP, 372 XP, 382 XP, and 385 XP. And so I've got all of those created. I just need to get some more vinyl so that I can print them out and get it all set. But yeah, here's my my decal making setup. It is pretty amateur. So and like, I can't print more than maybe 5 sheets, and I run out of ink. And as you guys know, ink is like massively expensive. It's like, so it's unobtainium. But I just got a regular printer, just a plain regular printer, and I get printable vinyl and I put it in here, print them out. It works okay. It's not the best thing in the world. But then I have to set these up, you know, as I use them. This is a Cricut machine, or Cricut Maker 3, and I put them in there and it cuts them out. Now sometimes I'll skip that. Like if it's just one decal, it's easier just to print them out and then cut them out with scissors. So you know, a lot of times, you know, it's just straight up cut out with scissors and just trying to do the best I can to get them to fit and match up and everything. So not the best setup, but pretty good. Well, while I got you, I guess I'll go ahead and show you. A lot of people were really interested in my stove. This is the Buck. I believe it's an 81, but we don't have a good fire in that or anything like that. So, and we're not going to show that really. I know you want to see it all raging and stuff like that, and someday I'll show you. But just for now, just to give me something to talk about really, this is my other stove. And this, I've got it all toned down and stuff. But this is, what is this? It's a Hearthstone stove. There we go. We go. Open it up there. So whenever you shut these stoves down, any stove really, whenever you shut it down in low temperature, the glass gets really smoked up, carboned up. But whenever it's good and hot, it cleans off that glass really nice. But this stove, a lot of people like love these things. And for us, for our purposes, it is good. However, it is not that Buck. That Buck 81 is amazing. And, you know, it's also bigger, much bigger. It's probably a full 50% bigger than this. So it's 150 or 175% as big as this. So you can't really compare. Like, this thing barely runs all through the night. Get up the next morning and You've barely got any coals to start another fire. You do have coals to start another fire, but the reason why this is such a big deal to me is because they advertise this thing as being able to hold a fire for like 20 hours. And that is just absolute bullshit. Just bullshit. It cannot. We have had it packed to the brim on a good, I've been burning almost exclusively with wood now for the past like 4 years. So I know how to run a stove. So a big, good, full bed of hot coals, and then pack it full of good red oak. There's my red oak right there. And then I shut it completely down. This is also a converter stove. This right here is your actual catalyst, so that it burns cleaner, But we put the catalyst on, we turn it all the way down, and it's supposed to hold fire for up to 20 hours. It's just bullshit. The best I could hope for, and we're talking, you almost have no embers left, would be like 14 hours. So, but this is not our primary stove. This is only used whenever it gets good and cold, and it's a secondary stove, and it's fine. But all of the soapstone thing, and people go, oh, I like it. It puts off just a good, slow, warm, radiant heat. And if this thing was all we had to work with, we'd be freezing, Now, you may have one, and you may be like, oh, no, it's good. It's golden. I love mine. Well, good for you. I'm glad you're happy, I really am, 100%. And we're happy with ours, too, but only because it's a secondary heat source. If we had to depend on this as a primary heat source, then just, suffrage. Like, it takes 40 minutes if you are running it with the door open, If you even, oh, look at that, it just pukes out. If you're running it with the door open and you first start a fire, from the time you first start that side, it's just pouring out on the side. Ugh, no good. But it's because I've got the catalyst closed off. It normally won't do that if I open up the catalyst. But if you start a fire, from the time that you start a fire to the time that it is actually putting out good heat, we're talking 45 minutes to an hour. It takes a long time for this thing to warm up. And a lot of people go, well, that just means it'll hold heat longer. And it does hold heat longer, but it's just not as good as the Buck. When we first moved out here, we got a Vermont casting stove. It was about the same size as this, and it's rated at like 2,800 square feet. It's like, no. It would possibly heat a home that was 3 stories high, and each story had 1,000 feet, because heat rises and stuff like that, possibly. But I find that the stoves, at least in my situation, they're always overrated and way overhyped, and go bigger than you think you need. But then again, I'm living in an old nursing home. This place is huge. My hallway is 9 feet across and 55 feet long. Our ceilings are unfinished, so up there it's hiding a heck of a lot of heat. In here, our one really truly finished room, the ceilings are about 9 feet. It's got very high ceilings, and so our heat requirements are much greater than most people's heat requirements, even though we just live in Atlanta and it doesn't get that cold here. You know, the thing that has helped us out more than anything is the addition of these. We've got two mini splits. We have one here and one all the way down at the end of the hallway, up there above the door. Now that we have both, they're heat pumps, and if you're going to get some of those, get Mitsubishi. I mean, I went through two of the, I think they're called Mr. Cool. So they're just cheap units, same size and everything. They're just cheap, and I went through two of them before I went ahead and said, screw this, I'm spending the money and getting the Mitsubishi. Now the Mitsubishis are amazing. They're so much better. They actually last. I actually have a warranty. I actually bought them at an actual heating and air conditioning supply store, so if something ever goes wrong with them, they have a 7-year warranty that I can holler at them and, you know, get them to repair it or replace it, whatever. The other ones were bought off of Amazon. Good luck with that warranty. Whatever it is, I mean, that would be difficult to deal with. But so before, what seemed to be going on, we were using about 4.5 cords of wood per winter, and that's a lot of wood, considering. Hey, look at, I hate it when my phone does that. You see that little dot on my face? That's because some glare is getting on the phone and passing over to me. Anyways, 4.5 cords of wood per winter, and we ran the stoves 24/7, you know, all winter long. And well, that was the main stove. The little stove back there, it never gets ran 24/7. It's only whenever it's really cold. But now we're looking like we're on track to where we may only burn 3 cords, or maybe not even that many, because of these. We're using these 2 heat pumps, and like on a day where at night, remember we live in Atlanta, so it doesn't get that cold. Whenever it's like 45 to 50 degrees at night, and then during the day 50 to 60 degrees, we don't have to build a fire at all, because the heat pumps are good enough to knock that chill off and keep us up around 68, 70 degrees. And so we just don't have to build a fire nearly as much as often. Whereas before, even though it may be 60 degrees during the day, we still had to keep a fire going somewhat, because if you didn't, then during the day, this whole structure, the whole thing would drop down to 60 degrees. And then at night, whenever it drops down to 45 degrees is not comfortable to sleep in. And so if we had just built the fire at night, then we would find ourselves not being able to create the heat fast enough in order to keep this entire structure's temperature up to where it's comfortable. The heat pumps really help us, really help us keep this place reasonable whenever the weather is not that cold. And then whenever it does drop down, we build fires in these 2 stoves, and we get this whole place nice and warm, and it's just fine and dandy. So You get what I'm saying? The heat pumps just really help us to keep it reasonable on days whenever it's not cold. It's not cold at all outside, you know, but you don't want your house to be 55 degrees. You with me? On those days, the heat pump's all we need. The heat pump will keep it up to 70 degrees. And and we get a lot of those days throughout the winters here in Atlanta. Yeah. So that's our heating situation. Someday I'll actually have a good roaring fire in that in the big buck stove, so I can show you. It's honestly, it's beautiful. It's beautiful whenever you get a nice roaring fire. Either stove is just lovely. My wife, she likes to sit here in this and, you know, maybe, well, not really so much read a book, but, you know, as we are all slaves to YouTube and social media, sit there while she gets to look at the nice fire going. And it's just wood heat is cozy. It is nice and it's very enjoyable. So, oh, here's that bar for the, oh, look at that. I kind of, oh, that sucks. That sucks. Oh, well. Ooh, it fell almost. So that actually says, fuck Putin. That's for the Ukraine saw. I know that, I mean, I did lose a couple subscribers over that because people were wanting to get political and talk about how they don't like this president and, oh, it'll be different. And I don't care. I don't care about your fucking politics. All right. And, you know, sadly, I mean, one guy, you know, he just had a few posts that were very political, and I deleted them, and I sent him a message, and I said, I hope you understand, I don't want to get that on this channel. And well, he got a little bit mad because I could do it and he couldn't, even though I'm not talking politics. My chainsaw is going to people that I think need a chainsaw. I ain't talking about who I'm voting for, none of that bullshit. You know, it's chainsaw. But if you take it as political, then you take it as political. But I'm gonna tell you, man, if you want to leave your favorite chainsaw channel because you don't agree with my politics, then you are a slave to your politics. You are the sheeple. I mean, if you literally can't separate your political views from a chainsaw channel, then you got a problem. You're addicted to your damn politics. I mean, I know that probably 80% of my viewers are heavily right-wing. Does that mean, do I think you're stupid? No. Does that mean that we can't get along and be friends? No. I don't give a shit who you vote for. I don't care, you know? So I wish that more people could just understand that because a person thinks differently than you do, it doesn't mean that that person is stupid. Doesn't mean you're stupid. Anything like that. It just means you see things differently. And I'm cool with that. You know? But what really sucks is when people get so hung up over it that they stress out. They turn their back on people that they normally would be like, oh, I love that person. You know? I mean, one of those guys, man, he was a good subscriber. He had great comments and everything, but can't believe you're gonna leave my channel because I'm sending a chainsaw to Ukrainian soldiers. It's just sad, bro. Sad. And I hope that you figure it out and are like, man, that was kind of stupid. And come back, because you'll come back to open arms, brother. I don't give a shit who you vote for. But yeah, I am going to send a chainsaw to some soldiers that I think need it. There you have it. Might as well show you some more of my chainsaws and what I got going on. It wasn't long ago I had gotten all these off of the floor, but the floor's cluttered up again. It's just the way it is. But let me tell you what the channel's got going on with a couple saws that you haven't really seen yet. First up there, that one right there is going to get a lot of attention, I bet. A lot of people really have strong opinions on that guy right there. Yep. But this is the 372 that Iron Horse built for Lumber Jackson. I have ran it. It's a good running saw. A good work saw. That's what it is. And I see nothing more or less than that. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts. They think he's great. They think he's amazing. And others think that he's a complete idiot and full of shit. And I don't know. I mean, I talk with him. I like talking with him. He's a fun old coot. You know what I mean? And so I'm really big on, I don't give a shit what people say about someone, because I don't trust anybody's opinion on anybody else. I make my own judgments, and that's all I can do. And I cannot police the world, you know? I can't do it. So one of y'all, you know, had problems with some of the other subscribers on my channel and sent me an email about it. And it's like, I don't know, what do you want me to do? Y'all are grown-ass men, you know? Anyways, you get it. It's like, how I can't control what people say to each other, and I don't want to. I don't want to be put in a position to do that. So the other thing is that I'm really stoked about. I like this. I have been wanting to try out one of these. This is a Pioneer P42, and I believe it is a 65cc saw. If not, it's right there at 64, 66, something like that. I think it's 65 though. But I have ran it. This is also Chad's, the Lumber Jackson. This is also his. And Calypso dog. It's my old girl here. Oh, and there's Louie dog. He's my young boy. Oh, and there's Pippa dog, and she's too many dogs. Oh my God! Get away! Get away! Get away! So, anyways, yeah, there's a channel that I watch called Playing with Wood. All right, and he has one of these that he's done all kinds of goofy stuff to, and I like watching the kid. He's fun. And he can build a pretty good saw. And anyways, it got me really intrigued on these, and I wanted to try one out. And I have it here, and I have ran it. And for an old horizontal 65cc saw, she pulls good. Very, very, very good. It's very good. I mean, this thing's completely stock, and if I was to compare that to my Poland 4000 whenever it was completely stock, oh my God, there's just no comparison. Now, this thing's a big fat pig, no doubt about it. It is actually big and fat, about like it's an 80cc saw, but it's cool nonetheless, and I really like it. So I'll be making videos on those two saws probably after the new year. Got a lot going on, and and during the new, like, I fly to Las Vegas on the 31st so that I can drive with my brother. He's taking a job up in Alaska, in Fairbanks, Alaska. So over the next 3 weeks or so, you know, we got Christmas, we got New Year's, I got this big trip to Alaska. The channel's probably going to be different. Probably going to take a hit money-wise. But, you know, it is what it is. And, but you'll see different kind of footage. Like, you know, I'll probably get some snowmobile footage. I don't know, just because we'll be up there, there'll probably be footage of me and him making that trip. Let me know if this is something that you guys want to see, and let me know if you don't. Is it going to make a difference? Well, yeah. If you're like, if I get an overwhelming, yeah, we want to see it. Well, then yeah, I'll make sure and try and post every day of how it's going. But you know, if you're like, nah, we don't want to see that shit, then maybe I won't post as much. But anywho, yeah, I've rambled long enough. The decals are cool, aren't they? That partner, or the Pioneer, Pioneer partner, that's a Pioneer. My thoughts were I really wanted to try it out because I wanted to see if it was something that I really am interested in pursuing, because I'm thinking I would like to get the Poland 405 BP. That is the one that, if I was going to get one, I would definitely want the Poland. Maybe y'all have one out there. Maybe we do a little bit of trading. Hell, make me donate it to the channel. I love that. Anyways, I got to sell that 441. I'm not going to do anything with it at all. I've been meaning to sell it, but there it sits. You know, mainly because I don't want to deal with all the people that on Facebook Marketplace. Oh. How about this? If you want it, $500, it's yours. 500 plus shipping, I'll send it to you. Anyways, I'm out.